Just saw the news on Mike Tomlin stepping down as the Pittsburgh Steelers head coach. Yeah, man. After 19 years, Mike Tomlin is finally stepping down as head coach. Like, I've seen people talk about it. They were like, I don't see him getting fired. I see both, since he has such a great relationship with, the GM, the owner. I've heard people say, like, most likely they'll just, like, separate, right? And, some of us saw this coming. I kind of thought that it was going this direction. My thing with the Steelers is just under Mike Tomlin, and since he's been there and everything, for a while, for a hot bit, they've been dominant. They have been one of the best AFC teams. They have been consistent ever since he's been there. We all know this. The consistency has been there. But things have gotten weird and been weird ever since Ben Roethlisberger hasn't been the QB there. They've honestly been in quarterback purgatory. Yo, you're not subscribed? Come on, man. Why you not subscribed? Be sure to drop a like on this video as well while you're at it. And be sure to follow me on Instagram. Drop any topic of discussion, any question in there. We can make a video on it. Even if you have a player, we can do some film review on them as well. All right, now let's get back to the video. And so I look at this and I'm like, honestly, I think this is best. It's best for both sides, in my opinion. Mike Tomlin, if he wants to go coach somewhere else, he can be a breath of fresh air for him, be a breath of fresh air for the Pittsburgh Steelers all around, right? Yeah, this is I don't think this is breaking, honestly. Just with the way they went out in that game, kind of with how the offense was, the defense kind of hasn't been what we've seen in the past from a tough Pittsburgh Steelers AFC North team. You know what I mean? It just hasn't been there. They still put up a damn good fight against a lot of teams, and especially in division. Like, Mike Tomlin has a winning record inside the AFC North. He is a very dominant head coach inside the AFC North. And honestly, that's a pretty cool trait to have. Like, you like your favorite team, your head coach is just better at coaching than the rest of the division, right? But for, we talk about kind of just them being just mid. Pittsburgh Steelers have just been mid ever since Ben Roethlisberger has been there. And I mean, hell, even what was it, like the last 2 to 3 seasons with Ben Roethlisberger, it was kind of just right? And then after that, it was just a lot of mid. And with me, it's like, it gets to a point, it's like, how long do we want to see this keep going? Like, I talk about them being in quarterback purgatory pre-Aaron Rodgers. Well, they've also just been in purgatory as a team. It's just been a lot of average. And, honestly, when it comes to some of these teams, if they're bad, they're bad. If they're good, they're good. And you like to see your team, like, you want to see some potential. That's the thing with Mike Tomlin and the Pittsburgh Steelers for the last little bit. They've just been average, and it's been the same thing every year, and it gets to the point where it's just like, something has to change. Something really has to change. So we'll see what will happen, man, because, like, the Pittsburgh Steelers are one of those, like, top NFL franchises that everybody has a lot of respect for. They have a lot of history, you know what I mean? So they're not just going to hire anybody. They're going to hire a head coach who they'll want to have around for a while. Like, what did I just see? Like, they've had 3 head coaches since 1979. Is that what I just saw? Or some crazy stat like that? Like, I love stability in the NFL. I think there's a lot of turnover rate with head coaches. I think there's a lot of turnover rate with starting QBs. If you could just have a coach that can stick around and be there for a while, that's huge. So for Mike Tomlin, I have a lot of respect for him. I actually love Coach Tomlin. I really do. So but him with the Pittsburgh Steelers, I kind of thought, like I said earlier, I just think it'd be best, now we have it, if both sides just got a breath of fresh air and something new, right? And so now I look at Mike Tomlin and I'm like, everybody's talking about John Harbaugh. I see Giants fans talking about John Harbaugh going to the New York Giants, but if Mike Tomlin is available, I could see Mike Tomlin also going to the New York Giants, because they're not just going to hire anybody and everybody. They want a good head coach, and there'll be a lot of options. There'll be a lot of options for Mike Tomlin. Like, if he wants to step away from the game for a year, so be it. But there's going to be a lot of people that are going to want to hire him. And there are a lot of vacancies right now that need to be filled. So Mike Tomlin taking off a year, I don't think it's going to happen, but it could. You just never know, right? And I'm excited as to where he'll go because he is a building block. Like, he's somebody that you can have around for a hot bit. As soon as you bring Mike Tomlin in as your head coach, that's something that you're expecting to be building, and it's not like it's going to be a 1 to 2 year hire like we saw with Pete Carroll. Pete Carroll's a little bit older, but Pete Carroll's a well-respected head coach. Maybe he'd beat the Raiders for a little bit, you know what I mean? Help them get out of the gutter. For a team to hire Mike Tomlin, he's going to be there for a bit, and you're getting a damn good head coach with, he brings culture. That's the thing with Mike Tomlin. His culture is just tough, hard-nosed football, old school football. Yeah, like you're gonna get good coaching on the offensive side, go coaching on the defensive side. Now I know it hasn't been the best with the Pittsburgh Steelers, but it's not like they're just hiring anybody and everybody that just doesn't have any experience, right? They're bringing Arthur Smith. Arthur Smith had previous experience. So wherever Mike Tomlin goes, you're getting a good head coach, and you're getting, if your team has no hope, you're getting potential, massive potential, right? How high? We'll just have to see where he goes. But on the other hand, for the Pittsburgh Steelers, Aaron Rodgers, that was probably his last game, in my opinion. I feel like a lot of people would say that, especially with Coach Tomlin leaving. Like, he's like, I'm not trying to do this rebuild shit. So I think that was Aaron Rodgers' last game. Hell, who knows? Maybe Aaron Rodgers sticks around another year. I don't know. We just never know with that guy. But that's the vibe I get. And there's a lot of things you have to fix with the Pittsburgh Steelers. You put yourself in this position. You can't draft high with some of these quarterbacks. Honestly, it's like, just rebuild your team. Just rebuild it, dude. Like, you got your GM, but you're going to have to bring in a new head coach. There's a lot of things that need to be fixed with the Pittsburgh Steelers. I'm so tired of seeing this historic franchise in just mediocrity. And I don't blame that all on Mike Tomlin. I don't. Because like I said, breath of fresh air for both sides. But this had to happen. But the biggest thing with me with the Pittsburgh Steelers is your head coach, and you need to get a quarterback. Because this team without a quarterback, there is no direction. There is no direction. There is no hope. You could have a really good head coach, but if you're just going to have mid and bring in some of these quarterbacks who we know aren't necessarily starting quarterbacks, right? You just bring them in for a gap stop. You better have a plan, right? And that's the thing with them being mediocre and just being average. You set yourself up in the middle of some of these drafts, and you can't get a QB. You can't get a QB. So we'll see what happens with the Pittsburgh Steelers. But this is huge. This is huge. And I'm excited to see where Mike Tomlin will go. And I'm excited to see what the Pittsburgh Steelers do, in the coming week. Because there's a lot of vacancies. Coaches are already getting interviewed and stuff. And they need to figure this shit out pretty fast. So we'll see what happens, guys.